Hey guys, welcome. This is going to be our final Let's Play of the Breath of the Wild, unless people are begging for more, but I doubt that'll happen. We are close to Hyrule Castle. We are going to go in, get some weapons, fight Ganon, maybe look at one memory, and then finish the game. Now, since I have not done all of the memories in this file,
Gale is now ready.
we won't be seeing the true ending. But that's alright. Today I am joined by Matt. Matt, say hello.
Hello, Matt. No way that
I
joke
didn't
doesn't...
say hello, Matt.
I know that. Like, I've always wanted to do that, but no one's
Wow.
ever really said... No one set me up for that. Like, thanks a lot, Nevitt. Really.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I destroyed your dream.
Yeah. No. Well, no. My real disappointment is forget the memories. I'm disappointed that we're not going decked out as Link.
Well,
by that
to do
people.
that, I'd have to beat all the shrines.
Well, not necessarily. You do have the amiibo.
True, but I don't have 3 days.
Yeah, but there's actually several.
The Guardian's like, oh, where'd he go?
Well, you know, you could save scum. You know, there's a trick where you just basically you just set your system clock forward a day, and you can theoretically you can just scan until you get what you want.
I'm not a scum though.
No, you're just a silly bugger.
Sure, I'm a silly bugger. Well, I'm avoiding Guardians because, honestly, I don't have really good gear. I've been playing my main file for the last few days, and I've been playing in Master Mode since Matt graciously purchased the DLC for me.
Yeah, thanks a lot for not showcasing any of it. I love you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of, it's like, I know people have seen it, and if people really want my take on it, I will make a video. But honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal one way or the other.
Yeah, well, you say that, but I definitely at the very least want to see you do something when Champion's Ballad comes out.
Well, that's going to be more story, so I'll probably talk about the DLC as a whole, because this is the first time we've had any Zelda DLC.
I know, and it seems like Nintendo, lately they've been experimenting with DLC practices. I think, I want to say we might have covered this in the last part I was in, but, well, I think like with Breath of the Wild, it's reasonably priced, and I think it's packed in effectively. But then you have like the most recent Fire Emblem, where the season pass is literally more than the game itself, and basically buying them, buying them individually. Basically, Nintendo. This is the generation. They didn't really start doing DLC practices until late Wii U, so this is kind of new territory for them.
Protection is now ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, for Nintendo specifically, it is different. It's not something they really do a lot of. I think Nintendo probably had, like, they might have been against the idea of doing this kind of thing in the past, but really, at this point, it's kind of expected for games to have more than
I'm not
just what you.
But things I'm not against DLC or expansions or post-release content. I cry foul if the content in question feels like it was ripped out of the game and sold back to you.
No, that is ridiculous when companies do that, and it happens far too often. But
now,
that's
that
not
being said,
and I know you're not saying it is, but that's not what we're seeing here.
Well, of course. Well, mind you, there are certain things in the that we've gotten so far that I like. For example, there's little things like the Hero's Path map feature, I wonder, okay, why wasn't that in the game to begin with? That's like the closest I've seen people say.
I feel, you know, I can't look at the hero's map. I can't look at the hero's path right now because I'm in Ganon's Tower. But, unfortunately, maybe it was something that, it was an afterthought. Or, you know, honestly, it could have been stripped from the original.
Yeah,
who knows? But it doesn't really affect
like how like
the things that much.
Yeah, most everything that was included in Pack 1 definitely feels like supplementary. Like, I actually consider like Trial of the Sword to be, again, it really feels like it was meant to, even though you can tackle it by a certain point in the game, it really feels like it's post-game content. Like, it's something to do once you've already done like everything else you can do.
Yeah, I mean, to beat the game, your Master Sword is already as powerful as it would become, you know, right in this area, because everything... I'm gonna have to cook some more meals, I'm sure. Oh, I don't even have anything that gives you extra hearts. I've been bad at playing this.
Yeah, why do I get the feeling this is one of those how to not play such and such? Have you ever seen those videos?
Not really. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
But I've seen like a few videos. I think there's this. I saw this one. It was like, this is how you don't play.
Oh, great! Look what's happening. I'm pretty. Oh no, I thought the redness was an indication of a blood moon.
That would just be the fucking worst.
Honestly, it wouldn't be that bad. We haven't killed a lot of things here.
Yeah, so what do you... Okay, so we should actually start talking about what we're looking at. A Hyrule Castle in this game. What are your thoughts on that?
Whoa! What the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Since when can they shoot in quick succession after each other? That doesn't make sense to me. Anyway.
Yeah, so
Hyrule Castle in this game.
Castle, yeah.
My thoughts for something that has been not lived in for 100 years, it doesn't really have that much bad with it, but honestly, nothing. It's not like animals could live in here. I like how it looks. I like how monsters inhabit, you know, the various areas outside, but also inside. And it's funny because in you look at, if you're ever by like in Hyrule Field of Guardians and Bokoblin is around somewhere, he'll usually run away from the Guardian. So I think it's interesting that, you know, in this area you have a lot of Guardians outside, but then you also have a lot of, you know, Moblins and Lizaflos inside. And now that I say it, I don't think there are that many, if any, Bokoblins inside the castle.
I know I think I've mentioned criticism about lack of music in this game, but this track is definitely very... I'm digging it.
Yeah, I mean, if there was any place in the game that needed sound, that needed like a good composition, it would be Hyrule Castle. I do have to say that there are points during, you know, like playthroughs that I've had it happen a couple times where I would notice the music would stop and cut out in a really jagged and unnatural way. I think it has something to do with how music in this game changes from inside of Hyrule Castle to outside of Hyrule Castle, and like the loading, something like that. But overall, it's never that big of a problem. But that's just one problem I have with it. It has nothing to do with the actual music. It's just the way it loads, I guess.
Yeah, definitely is sad seeing Hyrule Castle in this state. Where,
I do love this map.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember any other point in the series. Do we ever see Hyrule Castle ruined?
Completely ruined like this?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I can't think of.
I mean,
many.
You think of in Ocarina of Time, Hyrule Castle's gone. You know, completely.
Yes,
I know that's not what you meant,
yeah,
but I'd like to throw it out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the closest I want to say because Ganon. No, it wasn't ruined. It was just Ganon completely got rid of it and built a new castle. Yeah. So I know the most pristine Hyrule Castles ever looked was probably Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Hey, you want to see a memory?
Go ahead.
This was that one memory I was talking about. This one's probably the one I like the most out of the memories. Well, maybe not the most. This is like my top, probably my top 3 of the memories. And it makes you
Is this like likely?
feel for Zelda's character.
Wait, is this likely the last one most people would get? If you think about it.
Well, might be the last one they get in order, but then after this one, there's a bonus memory that you get after you get the initial 15.
Hey, a time when Guardians were friendly and on our side.
We're at a point now where we can actually control them. At the current
Yeah.
rate, we'll soon know all we need to know about the Guardians and the Divine Beasts. And should Ganon
It's strange that the Guardians are
we'll be well
autonomous, but the
positioned to
Divine
defend
Beasts need to be
ourselves.
piloted.
What are you doing out here, Zelda?
Yeah, by the way, another thing about me, well, not about me, I'm trying to think. This is definitely one of the most badass King of Hyrule we've had in the series. I'm putting that out there.
I was assessing the results of the experiment.
Yes,
with
it really
Guardians.
is.
These pieces of ancient technology could be quite
No, I take it
useful.
back.
I think it's interesting that
Oh, I just wanted to say, between it's tossed between him and the King of Red Lions. Because those are the two most.
However, as the princess you currently have,
I do like the King of Red
crucial
Lions
unfulfilled
because
responsibility to your kingdom.
without the King of Red Lions, Ganondorf probably
Let me ask
would
you a
have
question.
wished for Hyrule to come back.
This is some sort of childish game.
I'm
Now I
doing
wonder
everything
what's for dinner.
My boy.
I'll have you know that I'm just
This
recently
peace
returned
is
from
what all
space
true
where I've
warriors
offered
strive
every
for.
ounce of my
I just wonder what
Now you are here
Ganon's up
wasting your
to.
time. You need to be dedicating every moment you have to your training. You must be single-minded in unlocking the power that will seal Calamity Ganon
Now,
away.
I'm not going to read any of, like, Zelda's diaries or the King's diary,
Don't you see?
but
There's nothing more
if
I
you
can do.
haven't,
My
if
hope
you played through the game and you haven't read the diaries that are inside the castle in a couple of different
No
areas,
more excuses, Zelda.
you should really do it because it's a
Stop
it's a
running
lot
away
of
from
really
your duty.
it's you know
As the king, I
heartbreaking
forbid you to have
to hear
anything
how
to
the
do with
king
these
really
machines from this
feels
moment on.
and how
Allow you to
Zelda
focus
feels
on your
about
training.
what's going on. You know,
Do you know how the
everything's
gossip
peaceful,
mongers
but they're
refer to
living
They're
like
out
it's
there at
doomsday.
This moment, whispering amongst themselves
Yeah.
that you are the heir to a throne of nothing.
I can't remember because it's been a while since I've read them. The King's Diary entries. I mean, like, first of all, they take place after this
is
memory
woven
writing.
into your
If any of them do, does he?
That you prove them wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's definitely very remorseful when you
understand?
meet his ghost. But does he? Prior to his death, do you ever think, "Wow, I've been a dick, and I probably need to apologize at some point"?
The whole thing is that in the diary of the king, he talks about I think it has like 3 or 4 entries. Good choice on that mask, Link.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have been some of the most expressive stuff we see. Okay, this Link is fine, but he's far from one of the more expressive Links. So, I don't know, comparing him to Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, or I think even Skyward Sword Link emoted more than this one.
Well, I don't know if I could say that.
Well, it just doesn't feel like it feels like he retains a very blank, like 1,000-yard stare through most of the cutscenes and.
Well, honestly, that's also explained in one of.
Yeah, the whole explanation in the memory where it's like, hey, he's steadfast, so he can deal with the whatever being here. And first of all, I feel like that's a cop out.
It's actually right here. After meeting Jane, blah 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 blah. Next page. His eyes on me walking ahead. The feeling stayed with me so long I grew anxious and worried. The same feeling I felt before his company, and still not a word passes his lips. I never know what he's thinking. It makes my imagination run wild. Guessing at what is he thinking will not. What does boy chose by the sword? This is bad Let's Play fodder.
Yeah, you just said we weren't gonna do this, but you couldn't resist.
I'm stopping reading. Basically, it says that Zelda and Link get to a point where they're on speaking terms and they're friendly, and you know, she feels bad because she always thought that Link was just like this person born into his life and like knew everything that he was doing and was jealous of him. But you know, Link is so unsure of himself in ways, and he feels like he has to stay strong because obviously he's the chosen hero.
Yep. It does have gotten older. Okay. What do you think about Chosen One narratives? Because I don't know, like maybe it's because recently I've been studying up on Greek mythology, where heroes most of the time aren't really chosen. They're just like guys that, well, often descended from gods, or usually just regular schlubs who just fuck about and just do stuff.
Well,
I don't know how I feel about, you know, a person being predestined to do certain things.
honestly, I don't think it's something about, you know, destiny in all forms, because sometimes, like Link, he doesn't always have a connection. Well, there is no like connection by birth or by blood of any kind of hero. It's all a spiritual thing. And to say, you know, he has this destiny, maybe it's not truly the case. Maybe the spirit of the hero is something that, you know, isn't just, you know, it's not just for one person, you know? Maybe the spirit of the hero could be, there could be a couple people who are worthy of the Master Sword at one time. Nintendo's never said, you know, it's essentially not that. Oh, you son of a bitch. I was just about to climb up the waterfall.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, but
I'm almost to Ganon.
Yeah, I'm not mentioning it, but I love this track. Like, I mean, it doesn't make up. I've mentioned Nintendo can make great music, and the Zelda series particularly.
Oh, they make great music.
And the Zelda series, that's why so many people were disappointed with the lack of music in this game, because particularly the Zelda series is renowned for its music.
Yeah, and they made this choice, you know, not to have music, but
Well,
you know, it is unfortunate that it's the choice they made. I really shouldn't go here without more food.
yeah, I'm definitely hoping that, well, amongst other things, that they will listen to some of the criticisms lobbied against this game, and the lack of music being one of them, and hopefully in the next game they will address it.
I would hope so. But here we go. We're going to go right to Ganon.
Okay,
And then we can talk about Ganon.
yeah.
Calamity Ganon. This isn't just Ganon. This isn't Ganondorf.
Yeah,
This is
to anyone who
Calamity Ganon.
but to quote or to paraphrase, some call me Johnny. This isn't the Lord of Evil. This is the big bad in a western. Think about it, Calamity Ganon.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I agree with that interpretation.
Come on,
Because he's not Calamity Jane.
I'm still so disappointed.
And they talk about it, you know, Link has interrupted something. This is not what Ganondorf was trying to look like. He wasn't trying to look like this.
Yeah.
He was going for a whole different vibe.
I kind of wonder, like, was Ganon trying to resemble anything of? But one of the big another criticism about this game, this is more. I think this definitely is more subjective. But basically, no Ganondorf, just the monster Ganon.
Well, that's the thing. Ganondorf is not in every game that Ganon's in.
I know, but I think
Ganondorf
has just become so iconic and loved that people just really are disappointed when he's not in a thing now.
That's true, but honestly, he hasn't been in that many games.
Yep.
He's been in Ocarina of Time. He's been in Wind Waker. And he's been in Twilight Princess. Now, tell me if there's another one, because I'm counting 3.
Before that, yeah, I love this bit so much.
Yeah, this bit's really cool. I do love it. And I like how they're shooting this huge laser, and they're like, oh, and by the way, Link, duck and cover.
Yeah. This is what I think.
Yeah,
I forget if I mentioned this in my last one I was in, but all this does is give you a free shot. I mean, you don't even have to do any of the Divine Beasts before going to Ganon, because all this does, like, it just means you have to hit him more times than you would.
Yeah, and you don't have any of the upgrades they give you, which are very helpful.
Yeah, but I'm saying this bit.
And I believe you also have to fight all of the Blight Ganons, like Water Blight, Fire Blight, Thunder Blight, and Wind Blight Ganon before you can fight Calamity Ganon.
So basically, it creates a boss rush mode.
Yeah, which I would like to do sometime, but not today.
Yeah, I think that's like half his health, like right there.
Yeah, which makes this fight pretty easy, but you know, I've heard that this fight would be pretty easy even without it by my brother. He wasn't super impressed, but he loves the game.
Yeah, well, it's not like your brother Roger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I assume that's the one you were talking about. I know nothing about Willis these days.
Oh well, not many do. No, that's not true. But no one who's familiar with my channel really knows anything about it.
Yeah, so moving on. The bit after this, I feel it reminds me. I know. Well, we talked about Twilight Princess a few times, but it feels like the Ganon boss. It feels like a combination of like the Hyrule Field stuff mixed with like the. But he takes like a big. Like he basically takes like this sort of spiritual form that basically looks like a spiritual ethereal you know, it's just like a spirit form that basically looks kind of like, you know, the traditional Ganon. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, It's funny that you say the traditional Ganon, but really it's more like the Ganon that we've seen in
Yeah, you're right. First of all, I
the
think
Ganon that we've seen in Twilight Princess.
yeah, because I think like I think originally Ganon was like a big pig man, but recently like he was kind of Ganon originally had humanoid. He was an anthropomorphic kind of creature, but now Ganon is almost always depicted as being purely bestial.
Yes, that definitely is true. When you see Ganon nowadays, ever since Ocarina of Time, we've kind of seen nothing but Ganondorf being a beast. And that's, that's kind of par for the course, because once you change the look and design of something and it's received well, you're going to continue to do it. Which isn't a problem. I don't really have that much of a problem. I'm no James Rolfe, who doesn't like,
Change?
he doesn't, well, he's unhappy about, like, Castlevania.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now. Well, he always complains that everything like basically everything post Symphony of the Night has been. Well, again, that's kind of like this. In a similar vein, you can make that argument with Zelda. That since Ocarina of Time, they've tried to, but essentially, I feel like.
Well, you know what? That's not really true. Because when you think of Castlevania this way, when you have games like Symphony of the Night, after Symphony of the Night there are games like Aria of Sorrow, Dawn of Sorrow, Shadow of Darkness, I think was one. I'm not really sure. But those all really do follow the same formula. And then eventually they got away from that and they made the God of War Castlevania games with Shadow of Darkness.
And there's Shadow. No, I think it was called Lords of Shadow.
Lords of Shadow.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, but anyway, there were a few games with that, and much like any other Konami properties, it's been dormant for years.
Which think of it, but that's not my point that I'm trying to make. Okay. I'm not trying to talk about Castlevania. What I'm trying to say is that I can't think of. You're right. I can't think of a Castlevania that went back to the simplistic 2D side scroller that's level based.
I can think of one.
Which one?
It technically gets an asterisk with it because it's a sort of remake / reimagining. It was Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth, remake of Castlevania.
Well, The Adventure Rebirth was a remake, so I don't count.
Oh, that's the thing. Like that. That's what it depends on whether. Yeah, if we're talking about purely original, then no. But that's the only one that really went back to the traditional style.
Right. Now, here's why I bring that up. Because after Ocarina of Time, yes, there was a shift in how Zelda games were made. They were like, okay, so we've made the jump to 3D. We've done it successfully. The next game in the series is a handheld. We can't go back to 3D. So we're going to do another, game more in the vein of,
this is what I mean, by the way.
Top-down side-scroller.
This definitely looks almost exactly like the Ganon from...
It very much resembles Dark Beast Ganon from Twilight Princess.
Yeah, but like I said...
Which I always thought it was kind of strange that in Wind Waker and in Twilight Princess, Ganon appears before a fight with Ganondorf.
Now, I can't...
Because
I'm sorry, I just want to say real quick. I can't remember. Your horse here, does it just automatically, default to like your best horse will magically just appear? Or
I think it's the last horse you had installed through your horse Wi-Fi.
That energy covering Ganon's body is called malice. None of your attacks will get through as he now is.
Oh wait, I'm not using the right.
yeah, but but so you think like Ganon should be the final as opposed because because the final battle with like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess had the final boss was Ganondorf, and both times was like a sword fight.
Well, Wind Waker makes sense to me because I don't like in that game. It's not when he's fighting as Puppet Ganon. I feel like that's not like him transformed. He's like controlling something. Like he's controlling the body as a puppet.
I kind of seems similar to like the incarnations of Ganon in this game, where it's I don't know, it's not. It's like what are you saying? Like I don't know. Would you say that's kind of similar?
Well, you mean with the Blight Ganons, Water Blight, and all that?
Yeah, like would you view them as like being constructs he's controlling, or actual spawn from himself?
I would consider that more like part of him, you know, like kind of like the way Phantom Ganon is a separate entity from him, but it still came from him.
Oh my god! I bet people, if you didn't think this game resembled a Miyazaki movie enough, now we're in a field of green, in the rain, fighting a monstrous horror with a big orchestral score booming in the background.
Honestly, this does look like something out of Princess Mononoke.
It really does.
Mostly because of he's made out of like blight, evil, which is essentially the same stuff. Okay, I think you're good. You just got a little stepped on. Come on, Epona.
It's too bad you can't climb him Shadow of the Colossus style, because that would be amazing.
I'm trying to hurry. Fucking Epona.
How much more amazing would this boss fight be if you could scale that thing?
I don't know. I feel like Shadow of the Colossus. Did Epona die?
Look up there.
I'm looking. Come on, open up that stupid eyeball.
Yeah, and now we get a trailer shot.
Do what you must, Link.
Well,
And
hey, look, there's a stick over there. Alright, I need some more stamina. I'm just gonna stay up here until he opens his stupid eye. Hello.
What's with the tree branch? Like, why?
It cut down.
Well,
It got cut down somewhere.
well, we did it. He did it, people. He has killed the king of evil.
Prince of Darkness.
No, that's Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, right. But like I was saying, even though there has been a departure from the original Zelda games, they still connect to their roots, and they haven't drastically changed from what they are. Gameplay style, yeah.
Yep.
And for Castlevania, they still have the same kind of roots, but their gameplay style changed so drastically. It's gone from level-based platforming.
They definitely. It's always gothic horror, and that was. No matter what gameplay style, it was always, it was like, hey, it's a gothic horror setting.
Very true. Hey, look, you can see Lon Lon Ranch. Did you see it?
Yeah. I saw it.
Alright, good.
Yep,
If Gina was here, he'd be like, "What? I didn't see it."
yeah, so what do you think of this last bit with Zelda here before we go to credits?
Well, it's cool because it looks like she's destroying things, but you know, you never can be sure if the Prince of Darkness, King of Evil.
Not to mention Demise's curse pretty much says as long as they're both alive, so will he. I mean, so as long as they...
Yeah.
I mean, as long as they live, so...
Destroy Ganon. Complete.
I don't know what... In most games, they would never show you that, but I love that this game actually goes, okay, we're actually going to show you the complete objective for this thing you've had since literally the beginning of the game.
It's nice to see. It is nice to see. And I'm looking, I have I had a tower that was not...
Keeping watch over you all this time.
It wasn't open. It's kind of disappointing.
Witnessed your struggles to
Hey
return
Zelda,
to
how's it
us,
doing?
As well as your trials in battle.
So yeah, we're not going to see the true ending like I said before.
No.
But you know what? If you really want to see the true ending, if you really enjoy the game, you should buy a system and play it.
The true ending is that they both strip naked and they
Thank you, Link.
frolic in the grass.
in the Silent Princess, and those princesses will be very silent after they see Link's Master Sword enter Zelda's pedestal of time.
Okay, people. Long story short, that line there where she says, "Do you remember?" No, that doesn't happen. You have all the memories that she. No, it's. I think they. I forget if they actually. I know they go off together.
No, if they have all their memories, it ends on a scene where they are both in garb, and
yeah, I understand they go. No, this is the bit where they go off together. Then it cuts to them. You know, Zelda gets to change her wardrobe. I think Link just wears the champion's tunic, no matter what you were wearing.
well, yeah, he goes back because it's the whole thing. But everyone, we're not going to sit through the entire credits. I want to thank anyone who's watched every video in this series of this playthrough, Let's Play, whatever you want to call it. And if you enjoy these, tell me. I don't think you do, but tell me anyway. It's over. Matt, do you have any closing thoughts?
Yes. I need to remember her name, but damn it, she is waifu.
Impa?
Not that Impa. God no. Paya.
No, I think you like Impa.
Yeah, Paya.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, seriously. Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty. You could. It's never explicitly stated one way or the other if Link and Zelda in this context have any kind of romance. You could. Some people I could look at their relationship in this game and say there's a romantic chemistry, but I think you could also say, hey, it's completely platonic and they're just friends.
Honestly, I feel like in this game, Link shows no emotion whether he likes someone or not. Everything he's driven by is just his duty to be a good knight.
Yeah, well, my point is this. In this context, yes, people ship Link and Paya. It is one true pairing. Yes.
Whatever you say, weirdo.
Yeah, okay, so...
Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, buy my t-shirts, give me money on Patreon. Just kidding.
And I'm gonna do...
Maybe.
There's one last thing I must do. When I first started in this, I said a word that never had to censor. The time has come
You
for me...
said penis.
No, I said insert another word. And that word is... Okay, this is the part in the video where you'll cut that off completely and we'll never know what I said.
No, actually, I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to leave this conversation in, too. So everyone knows you're a fucking liar. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Today, we are going to kind of skip everything through and go... Oh, pardon me. I'll edit that out. Let's try that again.
Okay.